Hi there. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to download and install Java on your Mac operating system, as well as download and install Eclipse, which is the development environment that we're going to be using in this course. So first things first, let's make sure that we don't have Java installed on the system already. Open up the terminal. All right, and if you don't know where that is, if you press the command key and the space key, it brings up this spotlight search, and you can type in terminal. Okay, and that is going to bring up this terminal window. And in here we can type in different Linux commands, but don't get intimidated by this. All we're going to see is whether we have Java installed on the system. So if you type in Java, just like that, and hit enter, notice that it says no Java runtime present, requesting install. And so it brings up this icon here, or this window rather. So click on more info and it's going to take you to the Oracle website where you can download Java, okay? And so that's this thing right here, Java SE downloads. This stands for Standard Edition. And at the time of this recording, the latest edition is JDK 10. This JDK stands for Java Development Kit. So we're going to need to download the Java Development Kit for this course because we're going to be typing Java code. We're going to be developing Java programs. So we need the JDK. Very important. So let's download this, and it's going to take you to another window. Accept the license agreement by clicking on this radio button, and then choose the operating system that pertains to your setup. So for mine, it's Mac OS. If you're a Windows user, you'd have to download that. So for Mac, let's click on this file, which is going to start downloading a DMG file. And now it's asking us where to save it. I'm just going to save it on the desktop and just hit save. And in just a few moments, this should be done downloading, depending on your internet speed. Okay, there you go. We see the green check mark there. That means it is done downloading. Let's open that file up. And this is the actual installer. Okay, so double click this icon and it's going to launch the JDK installer. And at the time of this recording, it's version 10. So let's continue. Click next, and then we need to enter our administrator password and then install software. And now it's beginning to install those files. And there we go. Let's hit close, and let's hit close here. And now let's see if we have Java installed. Let's open up the terminal again. And if you type in Java now, let's hit enter. Notice that things pop up, right? It no longer says that no Java runtime present. It actually shows a bunch of stuff. And so we can check the version. If you type in Java-version, notice it's saying Java version 10 is running on this machine. Okay, so we're ready to go. We've downloaded and installed the Java Development Kit on our system. So let's close the terminal. We don't need that anymore. The next thing we need to download and install is the Eclipse software, which is the development environment where you're going to be coding all of the Java code. So open a new tab here in your browser and then type in Eclipse download. And just click on the first link right here. And the current version of Eclipse is Photon. It doesn't matter which Eclipse version you're using, but I'm going to upgrade it to the latest one, which is Photon. And if you want to upgrade your Eclipse, you can always go to this website and just click on this link, download the 64-bit version. And just click on this download and you'll be able to download Eclipse. So I'm going to save this on my desktop as well. So let's hit save, and in a few moments it's done downloading. So let's open that up. I'm going to open this icon. Notice on the desktop, this is the Eclipse installer that was extracted from this file that we downloaded. So if you double click the file, it extracts the software, and that's this Eclipse installer. All right, so this is the application that is going to actually install Eclipse on your operating system. So let's double click here. And by the way, this is capable of upgrading your Eclipse as well. All right, so if you have an older version of Eclipse and you want to upgrade it, same procedure. So it's saying that the Eclipse installer is an application downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? Yes, we are. So let's hit open. And there we go. Now there are different versions, subversions within Eclipse. You know, if you're a PHP developer, you can download it for PHP. If you're a Python developer, you can download it for Python. So Eclipse is a very powerful multi-programming language development environment, okay? But we're just going to be using it for Java. So the first option here on the top, Eclipse IDE for Java developers, this is the one we want. So let's click on that, and it's asking us where we want it installed. So that's in my home directory in the Eclipse folder, and it's going to be in the Java Photon folder. So I'm good with that. Let's hit install, and in a couple minutes we should have Eclipse installed. I'm going to fast forward in this video. Okay, there we go. We're done with the installation, showing that installation is complete. Let's click on launch. And now it's going to launch Eclipse on our machine. So it's asking for a default workspace, and you can have your workspace anywhere on your machine, you know, any directory you choose. I'm going to leave it with the default Eclipse workspace, okay? And this is basically where all your Java code, all the files that you create in this course, this is the folder where they're going to reside in your home directory. So I'm going to leave that as default and hit launch. So now it's saying that workspace, the particular folder destination was written with an older version of the product, which is Eclipse. Updating the workspace can make it incompatible with older versions of the product. Are you sure you want to continue? I'm fine with that. I'll just hit continue because previously I had an older version of Eclipse running and that folder had existed before. So I don't care. I'm going to open up Eclipse. And it opened the Eclipse IDE on my other monitor. So I'm just going to drag that over here so you know what it looks like. Okay. So you may see another introduction window with some other icons, but don't worry. If you close that screen, you should see this as your development environment. And here we can create Java projects. So just to make sure we have the right version, if you go to the help icon on the top and go to this welcome option, this will take you to the welcome screen, all right? And you can create new Java projects and check out projects from version control and all that fancy stuff, all right? So you might actually be seeing this window. It didn't show it for me, doesn't matter. So I'm going to close out of this and I'm going to show you how to create a project using this window here. So right click in the package explorer, right click here and go to new Java project. And we want to make sure that we can run some Java code now. So I'm just going to call this test project, okay? Just name it test and hit finish. And it's saying that we want to create a module. Don't worry about it, just hit create. This module option was introduced in Java 9, right? And right now I've installed Java 10, which is the latest version of Java. So don't worry about this for now. I'll explain that to you later. I'm gonna exit out of this and I'm gonna right click here and go to new class, and we're gonna call it application, and select this option right here, which says public static void. I'll explain to you what this means in the course, but select that option and hit finish. And this is our class, basically where we're going to be writing our code. So I want you to type in the following to make sure that our program is running. So system.out.println and open and close brackets and put a semicolon at the end. And in here, use double quotes and just say hello world, just to make sure that our setup is working. And of course, notice that I use a capital S here. Case sensitivity is important. All right, so make sure you're following the same casing, and save this file once you're done typing this out, and then go up to the green button up here with the arrow where it says run application. Click on that button, and there we go. Notice on the bottom it is displaying what our program is outputting, all right? And it's basically displaying the words hello world, okay? So our system is running as expected. Another way to run this file is if you right click and go to run as Java application. Notice it does the same thing. It reruns that program, right? So two ways of running a program. You can click on that green button on the top left with the arrow, or you can right click on the file and go to run as Java application, all right? And this is basically the starting point of our program. This main method is very important. Without it, our program cannot run. And I'll explain to you those details in a little while. But for now, your environment is set up, ready to go. Let's continue on with the course.